This is Black Light. Check this one out.
Hello and welcome again to Rewind. I'm Elizabeth Puranam. Our task here on Rewind is to dig out some of the best and most influential films from the past decade and to find out how the story has moved on since. One of the earliest series launched here on Al Jazeera was Earthrise, a show which tackles increasingly important issues of climate change, but also tries to find good news stories wherever it can. Back in 2012, reporter Russell Beard traveled to Detroit in the heart of the USA's decaying Rust Belt, a city built on car manufacturing. He was on the trail of a growing urban farming movement aiming to change the face of Detroit and reverse decades of decay. Rewind recently returned to see how their movement progressed, but first, let's take a look at Motown to Growtown from 2012.
In 1900, Detroit covered 30 square miles and was home to just 300,000 people, with an economy based on manufacturing railroad cars, farming and timber industries. Thanks to the introduction of the mass assembly line, by the 1920s, Detroit was the world capital of automotive production and America's fourth largest city. 50 years on and things were very different. The major auto companies moved their factories out of the city to the suburbs, and the workers followed. Meanwhile, the city's racial tensions were exploding into some of the bloodiest race riots in American history. Today, more than 1 million taxpayers have moved out of Detroit, leaving behind 40 square miles of vacant land, nearly 40,000 abandoned houses, and a municipal government struggling to pay the bills. For many, Detroit is the epitome of urban blight, but to find out how Detroit's urban environment is already showing signs of a green renewal, we head across town to Georgia Street Community Garden. Set up a few years ago by Mark Covington, urban farming pioneer and local hero. Mark! Hi, man. How are you?
You didn't have to leave the neighborhood when I was younger. It was a car dealership on down the street. We had restaurants, clothing stores, shoe shops. Everything you needed was right here.
Integration.
500,000 Detroiters live closer to convenience stores than grocers, and with limited public transport and nearly half of the city living below the poverty line, access to healthy, affordable food is often a challenge. So what if you don't drive here and you can't get out of town to the malls? Where do people buy food?
Liquor stores, gas stations, and the little scarce markets grocery stores that we do have. Because we do have places where people can go get food, but it's how healthy it is, and how cheap, how economical it is for you to buy it. When you could come here and you get a, sliced pepperoni piece for $1. All this used to be houses. This is just a vacant street grid right now.
This is incredible.
10 vacant lots or vacant houses to one inhabited house. People move to the suburbs for a better life.
And the more people move away,
The less tax base we
the
have.
less tax base, less income for the municipal government.
When people don't realize what a tax base really means to a city, as far as getting things done and having money to work with. So a lot of things we have to do on our own. And that's even policing each other and cleaning up after each other. But this is where it all started. I had lost my job in December of 2007, and I had to move back home on Georgia Street with my mother and my grandmother. And I came out when the snow started melting, and I saw all this garbage and trash piled up on the curb, and in the process of cleaning it up, I just said I need to put some food here. And
Yeah, this is going to be a short one. It ain't going to be no long, drawn-out thing. But this is what I'm talking about when I say do for self. And pull your resources together. This brother did it on his own. But it would be cool if you quit throwing your money at those YouTube pimps and do for self. Elijah was the example. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he was the blueprint. Do for self. That's all I'm saying. We need scientists to create solar energy plants. We need engineers. So we're going to talk about that down the line. This is Black Light saying, stay glued to the tube. I got talk that will never run out.